everyone, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunities to speak with you guys about how to use happiness as a tool for your success. So when you think of happiness, what comes to mind? Like, what makes you happy? Anyone wants to share?
Food. Good food.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Baseball.
Right.
Baseball, okay.
Friends.
Friends, okay.
Family.
Family, that's good. Anyone?
Pets.
Which one? Pets, okay, that's good.
Barbecue. Makes me
Barbecue.
happy.
That's awesome. All of your answers are great, but they're all external factors. So what I would say that in order to not just find but to sustain happiness, it has to come from inside. If it depends on any of the external factors, whether it's pets, whether it's barbecue, whether it's baseball, whether it's something else, there will be times when you won't have access to that, right?
Sure.
And then you will be unhappy. So once you make it heart-centered and from inside, then no matter what happens, you will always have some place to go and find happiness. And in order to reach that point, there are some questions which I would like you to ask yourself. If you want to answer, you can answer. Otherwise, you can internalize it. Like, think about, what are you passionate about in life? What makes you come alive? What makes you want to jump out of the bed every morning and take on the world? What is that factor? And it will be different for different people. Doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong answer. Every individual has their own way of what makes them passionate. And what is going right in your life? Like maybe for him, the baseball, watching baseball, that's going right in your life, right? Or for someone, maybe the good food is going right in your
I'm
life.
a Dodger fan, so I don't know about that.
That's true. Then you will be in the second question, what is not going right? And you would like to make some positive changes, right? So, again, like what's going right in your life, if you think about that, the reason I want you to think about it, because automatically your state changes. Automatically you feel positive because something is going right, right? For example, when I opened this company and decided to leave my high-tech, high-profile job managing 7 countries for a big data company, that was my most latest gig, then it was like lots of uncertainty. It was a lot of naysayers or negative people around me telling me, why are you even doing this? You are making such good money. You can easily have a nice life and not have to worry about a paycheck. But then, for me, there are various ways of making money, but that isn't enough. I wanted to make a difference. And I know everyone is not as lucky as me, like I have gone through a lot in my life, but the good thing is, always the universe has sent the right amount of people to not just help me get out of it, but now I have reached a point where I'm able to help other people. And in the end, I want HappinessFactors to be the #1 player imparting happiness globally, across the globe. So anyone wants to share what they are passionate about or what is going right, or as he shared, what is not going right as far as Dodgers are concerned? No one? Okay, so I'll then move ahead, but keep on thinking about these questions. So like we all have discussed, like sometimes we think, okay, if I get that car, if I get that job, if I get that pet, or if my kid goes to that college, I'll be happy. But again, they are all like, give us momentary happiness, but then something else will happen and that will change our state. And usually we are as happy as we decide we want to be. And the 0 to 1 is the people who are really depressed and they are on antidepressants, or sometimes they might think about killing themselves. Whereas most people in general will live between 4 to 6, where they are sometimes happy with something good happens, if they get some money, win the lotto, or get a new car, or have a kid, or have the right relationship. And whereas we have to think, what can we do where we can reach number 10, where no matter what life brings us, we can be happy. And by that I don't mean that, oh, you are always laughing and always smiling and you have no emotions, because we are all human beings and we get affected by whatever happens in and around us, right? If a loved one passes away, or if we don't get the promotion we were looking for or something. But what I mean by that is, if you internalize it, even if something happens, you will take time to get over it, and again you will back to your be happy state. So it's not that I'm telling you to be unemotional and always keep on smiling and laughing, but what I'm telling you is how to handle whatever life throws our way. Because we are not a product of our circumstances, we are a product of how we react to those circumstances. And why I am saying that happiness is so important? Why do you think happiness is very important for success?
It helps you to move forward.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Move
Helps
forward?
you move forward.
Yeah.
Helps you move forward.
Because see, like take any day in your life when you were very stressed out and you were running late for a meeting and you're already stressed out, oh, how will it go? I'm already late. Then you might have forgotten your keys. You might have gotten logged out of the car or something, or that there was more traffic. You get more stressed out. Then even if you go or present, or even if you put your message through, you might not come across that effective because of the stress, right? Whereas if you go in a happy state, like she said, and you are already confident, then you make a better impression. Like suppose like today I came, right? If I was stressed or unhappy, I'm meeting all of you for the first time, right? I say, hello, this is Anita, and I'm here to present on happiness. Will you be impressed by me? No. And whereas if I come as myself and I'm already in a happy state, so thinking, okay, I will do the best job possible, then you will think, okay, she knows something. Maybe we can learn something, and then you will listen to me, right? Same way. So that's the reason I say that happiness is very important, because it also adds to your confidence, and also it gives you clarity. Like most of us here have our own companies, or we do some kind of business or work somewhere, right? So if we are happy, we can think about, okay, this is the project I have to do. So what are the different steps I have to take in order to accomplish my end goal? Like for example, if I give you the example of my company, my end goal is of course to be the biggest player. But right now, my first step was to write this book, which got appreciated by Sam Liccardo, the mayor of San Jose. And I have gotten lots of speaking engagements and TV and radio interviews because of that. Then the second step is doing the speaking gigs. At the same time, I filed for my patent and my trademark and getting the software developed by the engineers. So you have to take the small steps towards your end goal, and that's only possible if your mind is clear and you are confident and happy. And of course, the focus. And why I say focus? Like, of course, we all are focused on this particular talk right now, but I would say only the focus is not important, but the right focus. Suppose I'm looking for sunrise, and even if I'm focused, my whole attention and go towards west, I will never find a sunrise because the sunrise is in the east. So it has to be the right focus in the right direction. And of course, effective goal setting and achieving them, like the example I gave you about happiness factors, like have a big goal, then divide into small goals and celebrate at every small win, because that gives you more motivation and more happiness to go more forward and achieve the bigger goal. Because bigger goal doesn't happen in one day. It will take a few years to achieve, right? And of course, it's very important for your productivity and for you to achieve whatever productive result you wanted to achieve. Like for example, today my goal is to make this presentation effective enough for you to take at least some tidbits out of this to make it a more happy day for you or a more happy life for you. And of course the end results. Like what are the results you are trying to achieve? And these things you won't think about if you're already stressed about what's going to happen. Oh, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes right? Then you're not even thinking what the end result is. You're already putting hurdles in your own way and becoming your own I would say naysayer and negative person to not help you achieve what you want to achieve. And the happiness effects. So just to illustrate the thing I already discussed with you, like when you're really down, you will think either, oh, I won't do it, or I can't do it. How will I be able to do it? It's not possible, right? Like for me, I would think when I decided to open my company, I would say, okay, I don't have family here. I don't have a support system. I don't know enough business people. I don't know the VCs. How will I ever make it work, right? But the thing is, it's not the lack of resources. It's a lack of resourcefulness. And once you decide that, once you are happy and clear, and then you are able to achieve it, and then once you achieve it, you are so happy, yes, I did it. And those are the different steps. The same, the picture I showed you about 1 to 10. So same way you can take it from 1 to 10. In the 10, you are confident enough to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And the 1 and 2, like you are already like stressed out and sad that you won't be able to do it. So now that we are talking about happiness for success, I wanted to share some insight tips that, of course, happiness is an inside job. Like I can look at the same scenario in different ways and whether decide to be happy or decide to be sad. Like I can give you example of twin brothers, and they were born to very alcoholic and abusive parents, and one became a very famous doctor, other one was became a drug addict and is in jail. So both were interviewed. So the one who went to ask the doctor, okay, how did you become so famous and doctor when you had to work so hard and you had no resources? And so his response was, with parents like that, what do you expect? If I wanted a good life, I had to do my best to achieve it. And the same person went to the other twin brother in the jail and asked, oh, okay, you are, you have become a drug dealer, now you are incarcerated for life. Why did you decide to do these things? You could have had a good life like your brother. He says, oh, with parents like that, what else do you expect? I didn't have any role model. Same scenario, same circumstances, only different reactions. And that's what made one very successful in life and the other one pretty much spend the rest of the life in jail. And also it's up to you whether you want to let external factors affect it or not, as per my previous example. Like the one brother decided, okay, I just want to get out of this situation, so I'll work really hard to achieve whatever I want to achieve. Whereas the other one decided, okay, I don't have the support system or anyone, and my parents are doing that, so I'll also do that. And so just both had the same circumstances, but they just decided to let it affect them differently. And also another important thing is to time your negative emotions. And does anyone know why am I saying that you have to time your negative emotions?
Can you explain what that means?
Yes, so what I'm saying is, like, if something happens, right? Suppose someone is in a car accident or something bad happens, someone is getting really sick, or someone cheated you, or you got into trouble. The thing is, sometimes people will spend their whole life just worrying about that, right? Or even bad relationships and things like that. Like they will be bitter or not trusting or go from the whole life living like that, and that way they are spoiling their own life. So what I mean by that, time it. Like suppose you hear some very bad news. Instead of letting your whole life be affected by it, give yourself 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If you're really generous, give yourself half an hour to worry about it or feel sad, and then get over it and get going. That's my rule of thumb is 15 minutes. If I hear really bad news of something happening, I will give myself 15 minutes to grieve about it or feel whatever negative emotions are coming, and after 15 minutes I'll go on with my daily life, with my daily ritual. Because otherwise that will take over your life, right? And then you won't be able to live anymore. So by timing, I mean that if something bad happens, set yourself already a time limit. Okay, this is how much time and energy I'm going to spend in dealing with that, and then I will go on with my life. Okay, so now that I have talked so much about happiness, let me give you some 6 steps to finding your happiness. So the number one thing I call decluttering, and by decluttering I don't mean your house, I don't mean your car, I mean your mind. I mean decluttering your mind of all the negative, toxic things you have inside. Whether you worry too much, or whether you compare yourself to everyone else who has more, or whether you get stressed about of the least things, or whether you get anxious about everything. Get rid of all those. Declutter your mind of all those things. And how will you do that? You can do that by being grateful for what you have. Like today, I'm very grateful for being able to present in front of you guys. And I'm very grateful to have the car to drive here in order to do that. And for my friend for helping me do that more seamlessly, because if I had to handle all the equipment, I would have been a little bit more, I think, scattered, right, than focusing on my presentation. So you don't have to have $1 million to be grateful. You can be just grateful for being alive. Not everyone gets a chance. Then, of course, forgiveness. And by forgiveness, I don't mean just other people you forgive who did you wrong. Forgive yourself. That's one of the hardest things. Forgive yourself for taking some decisions which might have adversely affected you, or in hindsight you think, okay, that was not the wrong decision. And once you forgive yourself, no one else can have control over your happiness. You are the only one who will own it. And of course, these things can be achieved through meditation. Like I started meditation almost, I think, over 10 years ago when I was going through a lot of stuff in my life. And right now, like, nothing negative can affect me for very long, but it took years. Like meditation is not something which will show a result in 1 day or 2 days. You have to continuously do it diligently every day, and then after a few months and a few years, you will notice your own change in your reaction, your own change in your emotion, and how you handle things. You will be more calm and more collected and more happy. And of course, have a happy lifestyle. Because nowadays, I would say in today's world, many people like to numb their senses by smoking or for drinking too much or doing some other form of sense numbing kind of thing. So get rid of all that. Don't go near all that. and have like a more healthy lifestyle where you eat more fresh food and vegetables, where you exercise, you do meditate, spend some time in nature, spend time with the people who lift you up, like your friends, your family, or whoever makes you happy after you meet them. So, and also have a control of your emotions. Do something for emotional wellness. If something needs to be talked about, go to a therapist or a coach or anyone whom you trust, and just get it out of your mind, because otherwise it keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger till it blows out of proportion. And also another thing is, if people are happy, and especially if they do mind and body cleanse. By mind, I already talked about decluttering your emotions, getting rid of the negative beliefs, and of course body cleanse everyone knows, so I don't need to talk about that. But see, happy people don't do bad things. Happy people don't do bad things to other people or to themselves. It's only the people who are not happy inside are the ones who go and shoot a school full of people or do something else bad to other people, right? Because they are not feeling happy inside, and so they have, that's one thing which gives them significance. So that's why they go ahead and do it. So that's another reason why happiness is so important, because that will make the world so much a better place. And this is one quote from my book, Find You Happy. So, and this is the picture I like because Jack Canfield was there present for my book launch. And being happy does not mean you have no issues and no problems. Being happy means that you are better equipped to deal with whatever life offers you in problems and issues. And being happy makes you face challenges and make good decisions.
Talk about the, you had a slide about the 6 ingredients to a happy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And a couple popped out at me.
Yeah.
One was meditation, because through the Cupertino Rotary, I've been taking a meditation class
That's awesome.
for the last month or so. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. I'm just wondering though, how indispensable is meditation to being happy? I mean, there are plenty of successful, outwardly cheerful people who don't meditate, who don't exercise, but there's also, a portion of the population that if they didn't do those things, they'd be probably more unhappy. Me,
Yeah.
So, can you talk about? Is there a spectrum of?
Yeah, I can definitely talk about it, because see, by meditation I don't just mean that you have to sit in a place and be quiet and not let any thoughts come into your head, and that alone is not meditation. See, many people who meditate, they're walking and they're doing like walking meditation. So as long as you focus on your breathing and you internalize, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You don't have to follow a particular form of meditation. Like I got trained in 7 different kinds when I opened my company, but I only practice one. And because of that, I think I've never gotten sick, because that helps your immune system a lot. So, and I do it every morning. But the thing is, it's supposed to be done 45 minutes, but I usually never have time for 45 minutes. Some days I'll only do 5, if I have 5. If I have 2 minutes, I'll do 2. Or I'm just doing it, thinking about it on when I'm driving to wherever I'm going. So it doesn't matter. So what you say, meditation, I think definition is like a very structured form. But I'm saying that meditation is important, but even if you're driving, you can focus on your breathing. As long as you're focusing on your breathing, it's fine. Doesn't matter if you do a formal one or not. And also usually most of my presentations, I do start with a meditation of like 5-7 minutes, but here I didn't have time, so I didn't want to have even less information to give. So that's the reason I didn't. But usually I start with a simple meditation of like breathing in for 4, holding for 4, and breathing out for 6. And the reason I do breathing out is longer than the breathing in is because to get more carbon dioxide outside of your body and get more oxygen in, because if you have more oxygen in, you're automatically happy. And that's the reason meditation works, because it gives you more oxygen inside your body and also helps you notice if something is happening within your body. Like you mentioned, many people don't exercise and don't meditate and they're still happy. They might be happy, but if they don't exercise at all, or even like not walk from one place to another, they will have some health issue. And then automatically their then whole structure or whole state and whole emotional well-being will be affected for that. Right? Whereas if you are really into the zone, you can cure lots of things which even here like doctors say like you have to operate. Like I can give you my example of, I have an ankle injury, like I broke my cartilage because I dance and hike and all, do a lot, and then the doctor said, oh, you have a hole in your bone and your cartilage is broken, you have to have surgery, otherwise you will always be in pain. But the thing is, with the meditation, with the energy healing on myself, now it's back to normal. I do everything, the dance, the weights, and I never had to go through. So if you do meditation, and if you do really focus on your own energy and your own breathing, lots of things you won't need medication for. And also you will have a more healthy body than you normally have, and also more, I would say, centered and more emotionally intelligent responses to things in life.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, just even in a short time I've been doing it has helped
That's
a lot
awesome.
of areas. Yeah, so it's a good thing.
Which meditation do you do?
You know, it's mindfulness. I don't know if
Okay.
there's really a name for it,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
yeah.